Oh, fancy meeting you here, YouTube viewers. Just making sure the galactic current sheet is nice and straight. No big deal. Just give me a minute here, and I'll be right with you. Tell your friends and foes in the meantime. Press the share button. Share on social media. There's nothing more social than a fictional cosmic structure. Oh yes, connect with your friends and foes about the spooky galaxy. Be careful, folks. The galaxy is very dangerous. Pardon my sarcasm. Shout out to Ben Davidson and all of you suspicious observers out there. I'm suspicious that you're observing any facts about science. So it's a fitting name, you suspicious observers. Anyway, there are multiple coronal mass ejection impacts on the way to Earth. And guess what? It has nothing to do with this fictional cosmic structure known as the galactic current sheet. Same with Neptune's weather, by the way. Anyway, continuing right along here, we're going to briefly tell you what the forecasts are. This is going to be a very short space weather stream because there are multiple events on the way, and we got to rest up because I may be up in the middle of the night getting videos and live streaming the aurora for people like you. Now, we're located in Lehigh Valley, Pennsylvania. The likelihood of aurora is very high. So, exciting stuff. Exciting stuff. And, by the way, we're going to be doing a new sort of format on these morning daily space weather streams because there's a great opportunity here to stream both in landscape mode and in portrait mode. So I do have a second PC set up right here, and we're not going to do it today, but I do have it all ready to go. Check it out. There you go. It is ready to go, folks. So anyway, yeah, we got everything all set up on that other PC now, and we're running Linux, so we will not run into any issues with Microsloth's updates and all the nonsense from Microsloth. Moloch's OS. All right, so we're just going to briefly talk about NOAA's forecast, and I'm going to show you some solar imagery, and that's pretty much it, because space weather is on the way, baby. Tonight into tomorrow, it's likely to see mid-latitude aurora, and even tomorrow night into Thursday. So it's exciting times for space weather, and we're excited to tell you about it. So, and hopefully you'll be able to see the aurora wherever you're located. Let us know in the comments where you're located, whether you're viewing in syndication or if you're viewing live. And press the like button. All right, so briefly here, we'll talk about NOAA's forecast from SWPC, the Space Weather Prediction Center. And we're just going to leave it at that because NOAA under forecasts a little bit. So whatever NOAA says is going to happen, that's what we're going to go with. And let me just briefly check here if we've got any new coronal mass ejections on the way by looking at the GOES 19 coronagraph. It's very nice. I can show you that, I guess. There you go. There's the GOES 19. And guess what? More coronal mass ejections. So we're going to have days and days of space weather storms here. So exciting stuff. Yeah, there's another one. Nice. So yeah, just expect to see the aurora. Expect disruptions in communication systems. Expect additional radiation exposure, especially on polar flights. And if you happen to be an astronaut, congratulations on realizing this channel exists, where we talk rationally about space weather. We always tell the truth, and then we never slip no lies in, to quote Run DMC. So yeah, nice. And we've got another proton event kicking off too. So check it out. We've got another SEP, and this time we've got all the energetic particles. So we may see a massive proton storm here as that active sunspot region is approaching that western limb. the likelihood of large solar flares is actually going up as a result of this. So excited to tell you that. And look at this. One of the largest flares of the solar cycle just happened a couple of hours ago here. So we had another flare of epic proportions. This was an X5 class solar flare, and it did generate another earthly directed CME. I don't even got to look at the rest of the data. I know that's another Earth directed one, and this one's high speed. So it's likely that we're going to have CMEs catching the other coronal mass ejections. And let me just say briefly, because I got to bring this up occasionally, please don't conflate solar flares with coronal mass ejections. These are separate phenomena, and I feel like a broken record because I got to talk about this all the time. Solar flares are photons. So imagine a flashlight. Here, let me demonstrate. So coming out of this flashlight is electromagnetic radiation, all right? The frequency is visible light. Okay? That's like a solar flare, only the solar flare frequency is X-rays. If I move this towards you fast enough, it would start to blue shift, right? So it would, become ultraviolet faster and faster. It would eventually become ultraviolet and then, extreme ultraviolet, then X-rays, and then gamma rays. Photons. Don't get them confused with protons. So anyway, that's a solar flare. Photons. It's electromagnetic radiation. Coronal mass ejections are protons. So let me demonstrate that as well. You hear that sound? That's the sound of wind, gas moving through a medium, this medium being the atmosphere. Coronal mass ejection is part of the sun's corona blasting off and flying off into space. Completely different than a solar flare. And let me just break it down another way for you. Solar flares happen all the time with no coronal mass ejection, and coronal mass ejections happen all the time with no solar flare. So when you refer to a space weather event as the X-class solar storm, that's not a thing, because the flare and the CME are separate phenomena. Do you get that? Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. So just to reiterate what I've said, coronal mass ejections are protons, mainly hydrogen nuclei. Solar flares are X-rays. They don't even make it to the ground. We got to measure them from space because X-rays are adsorbed by the time they reach Earth's stratosphere. So you have to have at least something above the stratosphere, and spacecraft are what we're using to measure the X-rays, like the GOES. The GOES is at about 23,000 miles of altitude. So just, don't conflate solar flares with coronal mass ejections. They are separate phenomena. Now, as far as the forecasts, NOAA is expecting significant geomagnetic storms up to a G3 level early tomorrow universal time. So tomorrow, November 12th, expecting a major geomagnetic storm. So tomorrow morning, across the U.S., we may see major communications disruptions. All kinds of things could be kicking off as a result of major incoming space weather. And there's another one coming that's higher speed probably. And so because of that, that one is probably going to, show up late in the day tomorrow, maybe like midday on Thursday. So yeah, another space weather event on the way. It's a great time for space weather. We love it. So yeah, that's the forecast. And let's just briefly take a look at the closest star here from the GOES 19 SUVI, and we'll close this thing out. Because my voice is not yet recovered. So anyway, the sunspot group that has been producing all this space weather is this group right up here. All right, that is an extremely active sunspot. It's still capable of producing large solar flares. That's the last couple of hours and 94 angstroms. And that's just the wind down of the latest X flare. I think that's the second most intense solar flare. The highest flux density is what we're measuring with an X class. You know, with the classes of a flare, we're looking at the flux density there. And there's a fantastic view in 304 angstroms. Look at how amazing. Let's zoom in on that a little bit here. So likely another coronal mass ejection here. So yeah, we're going to have days and days of incoming solar storms. So good times for space weather. Shout out to Tamitha Skov and everybody who rationally covers the subject on YouTube. Thanks to each of you, our viewers. Congratulations once again on realizing the channel exists. And until next time, may that solar wind be at your back. And once again, thanks for tuning into the Smash News Network. Least busted name in news.